You're the first and only winemaker, right, here?
I am, yeah.
How did that opportunity come up?
Well, they'd asked me to come in to interview. At the time, I was the associate winemaker at Cedar Creek up in Kelowna, and they'd asked me to come in and interview for the position. And I came down. When I originally came down, this building wasn't really here. The concrete was here, but there's no drywall up, and there was no tanks in place or anything like that. And I thought about it for some time, and I discussed the opportunity with both the band and the Vincore side of the equation, and both seemed to be really strongly committed to producing quality wines. That was key to me in taking on the position, because Cedar Creek, of course, is well known for its quality and their devotion to that. So I had a good feeling that Nk'mip was going to head into the same direction. So I think that's what swayed me to actually take on the position. So that's been exciting since 2002 is when we first opened the doors. And
Tom has got a real passion for Pinot Noir, and I have heard that you do too.
Yeah, Tom, I've got that from Tom as well too. We headed down to Steamboat together one time, and we both share the love for good Pinot. There's no doubt about that. So,
what sort of challenges do you face in the Okanagan Valley regarding dealing with Pinot Noir up here?
I think we've got a great place to grow Pinot Noir. Some of our sites that we get grapes from maybe would be considered too warm. We're down in the southern part of the valley. So we do have one vineyard that we source grapes from that probably would be better suited for Syrah than it is for Pinot Noir, but we still make a pretty decent Pinot out of that site. It generally goes into our regular tier winemaker series Pinot Noir. But the vineyard that's expressed on the storyboard, the Nk'mip vineyard 1968 established, really has some different soil structures than what we have down here. We're mostly sort of sand and clay down in the south. That particular vineyard is much more gravelly, clay, some bits of clay, gravel, and so a little more substance to the soil, and I think it sort of delays the ripening in a lot of cases, and we've actually get some really nice Pinot off of there. It's not a big, heavily structured Pinot, but it's a very, I don't know, I call it sort of a pretty Pinot. It's an elegant Pinot Noir. We have our regular winemaker series, and then we have our upper tier of wines, which are designated Nk'mip, term in the Okanagan language to mean to achieve excellence. So for that label, quite often what we'll do is we'll change our tactics a little bit during fermentation, where we'll be maybe trying to build a little more structure into the wines by doing a little more cap management than we might do with the other wines. So
what sort of crop levels are you shooting for with Pinot Noir?
For Pinot, we're down around in the just over 2 ton an acre range. Yeah. So it's not a wine that maybe makes sense from an economic standpoint at this point, but it's certainly a wine that's built out of passion. I mean, the other thing we do with the Pinot is we sent through the vineyard crews doing the obvious processes that happen during the vineyard year, or the life of a vineyard, and through the shoot thinning processes, the crop thinning process, and after the vineyard crews have gone through and done their work. We'll actually come through, myself and a couple of my cellar supervisors will spend a week or so in the vineyard, after they've done the shoot thinning, and we'll just, fine tune those numbers up a little bit too. And it's just, we can't do it for every block, we can't do it for every varietal that we do, but as you were mentioning, that Pinot is one of the passions that I've carried on, so we do spend that extra time in the Pinot patch. The row orientation on the vineyard that we get our best Pinot from is east-west. So when you're walking through the vineyard in September, late September, when the grapes are starting to ripen, and you're tasting the grapes from either sides of the vines, there's a significant difference. So you're tasting the grapes on the south side, and they're ripe, the acids are dropping, it all seems to be coming together. But you reach over and grab a cluster from the north side of the vines, and now you're into higher acids. They just don't, flavors aren't quite as developed. So we kind of had the dilemma of, what do you do? Do you pick while the south side's ready, the north side's sort of underripe, or wait for the south side to, or the north side to ripen up. Meanwhile, you've overcooked the south side. So we're actually making 2 passes at the vineyard now, and we usually do the south side in around the first week of October, so around the 6th or 7th of October. And we'll go back and pick that north side sometimes as much as 3 weeks later. So it's pretty significant, the difference. No, Pinot's all hand harvested for us. In fact, probably 90% of the fruit that we bring in here is all hand harvested as well too. One of the more important things that I do here, other than making wine, obviously, is to train one of the young native members to at some point in time take over my position. So I'm fortunate enough to have two very young and enthusiastic people that are working in that direction. One of them, they both actually graduated from the winery assistant program at Okanagan College, and the viticulture program there as well too. We've had one over in Australia to do a vintage, I think that was in 2007. And one is currently now over at Lincoln in the University in New Zealand, taking a 10-month postgraduate diploma program there. So things are moving along in that direction, and it's an exciting thing for me actually to watch these young guys grow. They're both so enthusiastic and passionate about the winemaking process, so it's exciting.
Now, when did they start here?
They both started young. I've had them, I think they were like 21, 22 years old when they started with me. And so very shortly after the winery opened, Aaron Cray started with us in 2003, so just a year after the winery had opened, and Justin Hall started in January of 2004. So they've both been here for 5-6 years now, and very, very keen kids, and I'm very lucky to have them and happy to work with them.
Yeah, I was shocked you were telling me about the population of the band. Could you talk about that again?
Yeah, it's not a large band. The Osoyoos singing band is, to my knowledge, around 350 to 400 members. So there's not a big talent pool there as far as trying to find people that are interested in winemaking. Say, for instance, you consider a lot of that population is going to be young kids in school. Some of them are going to be older people past the working age. A lot of them are already employed. And so I think I was very fortunate in getting a couple members that were as enthusiastic about the winemaking process as they are. Yeah, we've got 3 separate barrel rooms. It's real nice from a winemaking perspective that we can control temperatures individually in each of the rooms, so we can have sort of Chardonnays fermenting in a nice cool temperature. In one of the rooms we can have last year's vintage sort of at ambient cellar temperatures, 15 degrees of Celsius or so, and then we can have the new reds that might be wanting to go through ML, where we can have them sort of in the 20-21 degree range for the reds. So it wasn't that I had a passion for wine growing up, but in 1995 I was looking for a career change, and there was an advertisement in the paper for the inaugural winery assistant program that was put on by the Okanagan University College, and I thought, that sounds interesting. So went down to apply, and as I was in the office being interviewed for the possibility, the fellow told me no. He said, "I'm sorry, the class has been booked." And so I thought, oh well, sounded kind of cool, but I guess it's not to be. And just as he'd said that, there was a woman walking by his office that said, "Oh, are you talking about that winemakers program? Because there's one spot left." And essentially that was it. I mean, if she'd stopped to pick up a paper clip somewhere along the way, it's difficult to say what I might be doing at this time. But fortunately, I think I fell into a very nice career, and fortunate enough to be working for Nk'mip in a real nice company right now.